Hey everyone, Max here, and welcome to the initiation of Project Elucidator. From the title, I'm pretty sure you can guess what this video is about. This is not a tutorial, but a devlog about a project I've decided to build. Now I'm sure you're wondering what the project is about. Now let me give you a rundown from the start. So your boy was playing Final Fantasy VII, as you do when you're under quarantine, and I was thinking to myself, wow, wouldn't it be great if I could make something like this? Yeah, it was a pretty stupid thought considering Final Fantasy VII was built by professional developers over the span of around 5 years. But obviously I have a PhD in games development. Does that even exist? In all honesty, the series is about an idiot, aka me, trying to build a third-person character who runs around with a sword and smacks enemies, which also includes cool cinematics. Kind of a mash between Final Fantasy and Sword Art Online. So now that you're all caught up, we can start the devlog. Movement, one of the fundamentals to a game. The first thing I did was go to Mixamo and download a rigged test model which could demo the basic motions of the character and potentially some sword swings. Now, as you might know, I've already created a very basic character movement tutorial before, and I used this script as a premise for the character movement. But this movement was based solely off arrow keys, and I needed the character to face the direction of the camera. So I downloaded Cine Machine from the packages, and we instantly had some good camera movement. The next thing I needed was the character to walk in the direction of the camera. So I totally spent a good amount of time planning the script. Nah, who are we kidding? I looked at Bracky's tutorial to get some basic movement going, and we had something like this. Pretty decent. So the next thing we need to work on is, when the character walks, he needs some moving animations. And so I went to Mixamo to look for some animations, because trying to animate in Blender or something is definitely a waste of time for me, because I don't even know how to act naturally in real life. How am I supposed to replicate this in a 3D program? So I downloaded some walking animations, running, unsheathing a sword, sheathing, some attack animations, and some sword idles and run animations. Now, back in the Animator controller, I needed to create some states and conditions for my character. How the Unity states work is basically when certain conditions are fulfilled, a certain animation plays. So let's say I had a normal movement blend tree and attack blend tree, and the transition between this would be if a boolean called attack was set to true, then my character would be playing from the attack blend tree, and based off certain parameters, let's say we had a parameter called speed and speed was bigger than 0, then it would start walking in the attack state. Now we have some pretty decent animation. I'm not sure about this yet, but I'm considering giving the user control over accessing attack mode, unlike Final Fantasy where you only can access attack mode when you enter a hostile environment. Since I got some pretty good animations going, the next logical thing to do was add a sword. So I got this pretty simple looking sword off the SketchUp warehouse. Yes, Unity does support SketchUp formats, and I use it quite a lot for free models. Attaching the sword to the player was relatively simple, as I could just, put it as a child of the bone on his right hand. The only problem was reattaching the sword to his back and vice versa when in attack mode and in normal mode. One of my solutions to this was to make the sword a child of the spine bone exactly at the right moment, so it would attach to his back when he unsheaths the sword. However, this would take some very precise timings. The next idea I had was to have an empty game object and for the sword to mirror the orientation and position of the game object when I switch modes. So one for the sword holder and one for the hand. This was a much simpler solution, and it also meant I could adjust the positions in game. The next thing I wanted was some particle effects for a swish. Just like most games, the swish makes the hits more satisfying. But that also means I have to learn the particle system because I've never used it before. So I watched several tutorials, but this looked the coolest by far, and I got something like this working. It's still very basic, but it looks a lot better than no swish at all. Since our character is relatively tested for the movement and sword swing aspects, I think the next thing to do is create our own character. So after doing a bit of research into character creation software, I found Vroid Studio, an anime character creator, which probably works well because there's almost no way I could make anything hyper realistic, so a cartoonish style is probably the way to go. So in Vroid, there's this cloak type thing which looks cool, so I think I'll use that. And in Vroid, to edit textures, you can export them and paint all over them and everything. So I exported it, and as everyone knows, I'm an absolutely great artist. That totally wasn't sarcastic, and used some high-end professional software. Keynote. Yes, I use Keynote to make my textures. And our cloak looked something like this. Now, if you think this cloak looks familiar at all, well, let's just say my cloak was inspired. And then I spent the next 2 days figuring out how to make hair. Okay, look, if I can't even style my hair in real life, it makes it very difficult to make 3D hair. And now we have this model. Now all I needed to do was import the model, but wait. Great, it's a VRM model. Apparently a VRM model format is a model used for VR things. So I needed to get a Unity package to import to the VRM model. And that totally didn't take like 4 hours, which consisted of me importing it and exporting it through Blender, and then finding out about this Unity package. So after importing it correctly and setting it up properly, it looks like this. And that's all I have for you for this devlog. I'm not actually sure what direction this project will take, but in the next episode of the devlog, I'm hoping to maybe get some enemies or add an environment. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the devlog, click like, comment down below, and even consider subscribing. If not, I'll see you next time.